Hello and welcome to the tutorial on Blender animations. In the first part of the Blender animation, I've talked about the basics of the animation, and as a beginner, if you are starting to make animations in Blender, you can check that video first because we are starting with a very basics in that video. And if you know a little bit about the Blender basics and the basics of animations, in this video, I'll make sure that you gain more expertise on the Blender animation and make it more realistic. So I'm going to share you some tips to make your animation a more lifelike and so that your animations are much smoother and realistic. So let's get started. So here we have a scene of a living room. We have a sofa, a TV, a lamp, and other things. So suppose I want to make a animation of zooming in at a particular object in this scene. So we need to make the camera move, right? So this is the scene, and you are just make it as cinematic. Suppose you are making a cinematic scene of focusing on at a single object in the scene. So we need to move the camera at the uh, at our object. So in this case, I'm focusing on the lamp. So the lamp is my object on which I want to focus, right? So first we need to save the locations of the camera as we do normally. So just go back to the initial frame where you want to start. So I think this frame looks good. So I'm going to save this location. So at frame 0, these are the X, Y, and Z coordinates of this camera because this is selected. So just select the camera, which I've already done, and right click on the on any of these coordinates. So I'm going to right click here, and you can insert single keyframe. That means you will save the location of only the x-axis, or you can select the insert keyframe option to select the x, y, and z, all three axes. So I'm going to select the first one. This is the insert keyframe. And now you can see that the x, y, and z values are becoming yellow because these are saved now, and you can see the keyframe also has been inserted here. So that means this location is saved in the Blender. Now we can move to the end frame. So suppose I keep it at 90 frames, and I'm keeping the frame rate as 30 FPS. That means 30 frames per second. So in the 90 frames, it will be 3 seconds, right? So here I'm going to zoom in more on the lamp. And you see, as I move the camera, these values are changing and the color has become orange. That means the values are not saved yet and the saved value has been changed. So here again, at 90 frame, we need to save these values so that the camera focuses on the lamp. So again, I'm going to right click here and insert keyframes. Now again, the locations are saved. And when I go to the 0 frame and play the animation, you can see it is zooming in the on the lamp. Right. And we are not rotating the camera and neither scaling it up or down. So we do not want to save these values. Now let's go to the animation panel and see what happens in the graph editor. So there is an option called a graph editor. Here you can go to this icon and select graph editor, and you can see lines of different colors represent different axes here. So red is for x-axis, green is for y-axis, and blue is for z-axis. So you can see these curves. So just normalize it so that we can see the values in 1 and -1. So I've done that. And at frame 0, you can see when we are just starting the movement, you can see there is a dot coming. So this is a Bezier curve. When I stretch it, the speed will increase or decrease at different axis. So blue is for Z. That means in the Z axis, when I'm stretching it, it will become slower in that direction. And we don't want that to be this kind because we want it to be even. So I'm going to select all three axes at once and then drag it. So now all three are moving simultaneously. So we can adjust this curve and then let's see what happens. So you can see at the starting, it is much slower. And if I want to make it faster, I can simply make it vertical. So now just observe the changes. So at the start and end, it is much faster, and at the in the middle, it is slower. I can do so with the one end also, on the one end. So I'm making it vertical, and the other end, I'm going to make this like this. So that is how it works for the Bezier curve. But we do not want this abrupt changes in our scene. So to make it a better, like constant value, we need to interpolate these. So just press T on your keyboard. So now you can see the interpolation panel. And here you can check constant, linear, or Bezier. So linear means it is going to the, it is moving in the at a constant speed. So now you can see it has become linear. And when I play the animation now, just observe. So the speed is constant throughout, right? So to explain it further, I'm going to add one more uh, panel here, or just we can go simply to the 3D viewport one more time. So I'm going to add one more panel here. Just select 3D viewport. We can come out of this. Yeah, so here I'm going to add a cube. Press Shift A to add a cube. So by default it comes at the origin, so we need to change its location either in the X or like any of the directions. So yeah, now we can see the cube properly. Right. So here, let's make this cube jump. So I'm going to set the initial position. So in the Z direction, I want to save the position. So just right click and insert single keyframe because we do not want it to move in the X and Y directions. Just save in the value of in the Z direction. And at frame 30, let's say I'm going to move it upward. So just grab in the Z direction. Now you see the values changed and again insert single keyframe. So by default, the curve is Bezier here and we can change the curve by selecting all and press T on the keyboard. So make it linear. You see how it changes. Okay. Then we can duplicate this object and let's see if we make it moves in some other fashion. So here we can just insert again, right? So now these two are both are moving in the linear fashion. Suppose I do not want to move it in a linear manner. I can choose elastic or bounce. Let's try elastic one. Just Just observe the changes in these two. You can see this is moving in a linear manner, but it is abruptly jumping and then going to and fro, right? I can change it to something else as well. Let's do that now. Duplicate it one more time. Insert the keyframe. Here I'm going to choose bounce this time. Let's see what happens. You can see it is bouncing, so it is moving to and fro few more times than the plastic one. Right. So like that, you can select uh, different interpolations to make your object move in a much realistic manner. So let's come back to our original scene. So now we have adjusted the camera. I want to make this light dimmer. So let's see how it happens. So at frame 90, we have saved the camera position. And after that, I'm going to select the intensity of this lamp. So just go to the material property, and here in the strength, at the beginning it is 1, that means the maximum strength. And then after suppose at 110, we can reduce it to, let's say, zero point 0.1. You can see now it has become dimmer, and then again save it. And we can do so again at 130. We can simply copy it. So I'm just going to increase the frames. And now I'm going to copy it. So just press Control C and Control V here. We can do it again at this point, not at this point, Control V. So now when I play the animation, you can see the changes, right? It is. So when we are starting it, it's focusing on the lamp and then the lamp is becoming dimmer. Let's make it more dramatic. So I want to make this lamp fall. So I'm going to select these two objects. First, we need to uh, save these locations. Again, you can do so with the for the rotation also. So here the values are now saved. Okay. Now I want to make this fall. So the lamp will fall gradually, right? We need to select these three objects only. Make sure. And it is falling like this and like this. Yeah, so this is how it should look. So at frame, suppose it falls at 140 frame, it needs to be rotated about y-axis. Now again, we can select these three objects and insert keyframe for all these three. Okay, now let's see. So, okay, initially these are not selected. Let's move it again. So rotate it. Its initial positions were not selected. We need to save these. So this is how our overall animation will look like. So at when we are starting at frame 0, the camera is first focusing on the lamp light is becoming dimmer and it is falling down. So that is how you can go to the animation panel again and select the values here for the curve. You can add a bounce here if you want. So let's try to make it bounce. Let's do that. Let's experiment how it looks. Okay, we can do that for all three. This look more realistic now. You can see just a little bit of interpolation makes this kind of realistic animations, right? Just adjust its value a little bit in the Z so that it doesn't go inside the ground. Yeah, we can change the interpolation for this also. Let's go to bounce mode. Let's see. Right, so this looks better now. So this is all about the Blender animation part 2. I hope you have learned more advanced tips and tricks for making your animations more realistic. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to give any suggestions, do comment and please like and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.